We're in the middle of a romance apocalypse. There are more single adults than ever before. Marriage is on the decline. The birth rate is at the lowest point in history. People are not connecting and forming real relationships. For the first time in human history, the very concepts of marriage and romance, God, the family, gender, and even our national anthem are under attack. Our American values have been slowly deteriorating and replaced with liberal, progressive values. We're in the middle of not only the romance apocalypse, but a war on our very souls. Speaking the truth is called hate speech. Patriotism is now called racism. Believing in God makes you a bigot. The current state of America is directly intertwined with the current state of our relationships. We are actively enslaving ourselves into a loveless, joyless, genderless future. Men and women of common sense and a moral compass need to wake up to the destructive madness that is being thrust upon us in the name of progressiveness and political correctness, and look ahead to where this ideology and agenda are ultimately taking us. We can make love great again. We can make America great again. But we need to remember who we are. We need to remember the spirit and the values that once made this country and our relationships so great.
This is a struggle for the survival of our nation. And this will be our last chance to save it. This election will determine whether we're a free nation or whether we have only the illusion of democracy, and we will make America great again.
Hey everyone, what's going on? Happy Friday. Woo! It is Friday, hashtag Frisky Fridays, and I'm excited to share with you my show today. I'm DeAnna Lorraine, host of this show, Make Love Great Again, and the author of my book, Making Love Great Again, The New Road to Reviving Romance and Winning at Relationships, available on Amazon. I am your host. I am the red-pilled relationship, dating, and lifestyle coach and defender of American values and our relationship values. How's everyone doing today, first of all? It is Friday, and I'm excited to be here with you because it's going to be a great show, number one, and it's also been a great week, I think. Hello to all the Periscopers, the YouTube livers joining me today, and the Facebook livers joining me today. Thank you for all the hearts and the loves. I always appreciate your hearts and loves all throughout the show because that gives me the juice to keep on going. So thank you. Let's just peer in the chat room, make sure everything is going well today. We got Jesus Barreto in the house. We've got DJ, Dave Johnson, Russ, woo! Lenny Kravitz, American Woman, love what you got on, looking good. Well, thank you. I'm feeling very patriotic today. I'm feeling like I have a lot of pride in this country today. How about you guys? Today we're going to talk about some important things, so you're going to want to stick with me for the whole hour. Make sure that you don't go anywhere for the whole hour because I have a challenge for you. And I have a challenge for those of you who consider themselves liberals, Democrats, independents, or conservatives as well. Anywhere along the spectrum, I have a nice challenge for you at the end of the show. So, welcome everybody. And guess what? I've got my Trump hat today that I might be wearing later today. So this has been a fantastic week. I'm excited, and I feel for the first time in a long time, I feel a shift happening in this country. Do you guys feel a shift? I sure do. I feel like something exciting is finally happening, that people are finally starting to come out of their shackles, of their chains, that they're finally starting to maybe think for themselves. And people that have been just glued to and chained to the prisons of groupthink and ideological thought for so long that, wow, I finally feel this breath of fresh air that's been infused in our country. And I actually think, I never thought in a million years I would say this, because I've never really been a fan of Kanye West, but I think Kanye West this week, I think what he's been doing this week has been incredible for those who are on the MAGA movement. He has, you know, someone who has so much to lose and someone who has so much popularity and influence. The fact that he's now aligning himself with Trump openly, and thank gosh he has not backed down from it. That to me is, you know, that, and then combined with Candace Owens and then Chance the Rapper and some other people that showed up this week. I mean, it's been fantastic because it's finally validating people who are on the Trump train and those who are in the MAGA movement, and they've been here all along. It's finally validating us. And it wasn't always it's been a really tough road for those people who have been, you know, on the support train for so long. And, you know, let me just make sure my notifications are turned off, because that is distracting. Okay, so it's been a long and tough road for us, because it's been so much ridicule, so much bullying, victimization, villainization, marginalization, alienation. I mean, everything that you can think of, we have been through. And it's finally nice to see someone that's so influential and has so much to lose and who's Black finally validate and say, look, Trump is not racist. His policies are not hurting Black people. They've never hurt Black people or minorities or gays. What they're doing is actually helping us and helping the country. And it's helping us move forward as a country instead of being focused and stuck on the past. So we're going to talk about that a lot today. But for the first time in a long time, I feel this shift, like things are finally maybe starting to move forward, and I feel optimistic, and I hope that you guys feel optimistic too. Spread the word, yes. Believe me, these are not people who did not already believe like this. They were just afraid to come out, and at first they're showing themselves. Yes. Trump was never considered racist until he ran for office, and I explained that to some people yesterday in another chat room, and coincidentally, 99% of them agreed with me. Wow, that's actually really nice. That's nice that they agreed with you, for sure. So that just proves to you, right? I feel like the left is crafty at infusing interruptions in the America First movement. Oh yes, they're definitely, most definitely crafty in the fullest. So here's what. I went through a little experiment this week. And I've already known this. Believe me. But I wanted to just see what it was like to be in the resistance movement. So I looked into some resistance Facebook groups and Facebook pages and websites, and I signed up for some resistance email lists. And I wanted to see what are they focused on, and is there any good in it? Are they talking about anything positive? And let's just peer a little bit into what I found. Whoops. There we go. So, here's some things that I found. Look at this is just one of the resistance groups. And it's all gossip. It's all race baiting. It's all fanning the flames of inciting fake empathy and outrage. Look, she really didn't want to hold his hand. Well, maybe she was just trying to be proper, okay? Oops, let's turn these notifications off. Sorry, guys. Here, hold on. Pardon me while I just turn this off. Nobody needs to be chatting with me right now. Nope, 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 nope. Man, people just hit me up at the wrong times. Turn off. Okay, sorry guys. Trying to just turn off all the chats. Okay, and by the way, I have a phone, so if people really want to reach me, they can use my phone. Okay, so the resistance group. It's all stories of, it's gossip and it's all nonsense. They're just spreading lies. You know, there's nothing true in here. They're making memes, you know, making fun of President Trump. Aren't we over memes making fun of President Trump looking like an orange clown? I mean, doesn't that get old after a while? NRAs, follow the NRA's blood money, and there's a big video on the NRA having blood on their hands. And every story is just all gossip or race baiting. Nastiness, name calling, hatred, victimhood wallowing, and resisting. There's nothing at all that's positive. If you look in any of these resistance groups, nothing is positive. And I don't know about you, but why would anyone want to be trapped in a negative state every single day and just hearing this negativity? They like get fed by this negativity. It's so creepy, actually. It's so weird. And every day, day after day, Don Lemon, Jimmy Kimmel, the ladies on The View, all they do is bash President Trump. All they do is bash those who support him. This isn't even a conservative issue or a Republican or a Democrat issue anymore. This should just be a human issue or an American issue. It's not healthy to linger in the feelings, to wallow in the feelings of negativity and jealousy and hatred every single day. It's physically unhealthy to be wallowing in those feelings. You shorten your lifespan by about 10 years, and there's just nothing at all that's positive about it. So I just wanted to highlight that because I'm going to pull that into the rest of the segments. It's so negative. And this is another thing that Kanye West is talking about, that why not just try to be positive? And why not just try to look at the country in a positive way and look at each other in a positive way and start looking at each other through loving eyes and through empathy, through American eyes, instead of hate, 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 division, division, division. Because how is that helping us so far? How is that working? The other thing is, well, let's go on a little bit more and then we'll see. So the feminist movement, the modern feminist movement, is the exact same way. It's keeping people down for the purpose of dividing and conquering and keeping them weak. And this is right out of Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals book. This is all the same tactics. This is what they use. It's just with a different party. So their purpose is to create class division or group division amongst the sexes, the genders, the sexualities, the races, and everything in between, so that they're never fully free. So this is the way to keep people mentally enslaved. People may not think that they're physically enslaved, but believe me, they're mentally enslaved, because that's what Marxism does. It keeps them mentally enslaved and reserves the power for the very top. Right? So, yeah, it's really just crazy that they don't realize this. But maybe some people are starting to realize this, and they've been too afraid to speak for themselves or think for themselves. And now with Kanye and Chance and these other people leading the way, they feel free to do that once again. So here's how the feminist movement is doing that as well with women. Oh, by the way, and this is just another example too of how influential and how susceptible women are, and how susceptible everyone is, this new generation is to, they just get told one thing and then they follow it like a sheeple. So this was happening. Oops, this was yesterday. This came out on a big thing on Twitter. So Janelle Monáe comes out. She's some big celebrity. Janelle Monáe comes out as pansexual. So pansexual became the #1 searched term on Merriam-Webster's dictionary for over 24 hours. Pansexual became the #1 search term. This is what they do, though. This is how social engineering works. They take an influential celebrity who has a huge following, especially in the younger generation, and then they have her say something like, I'm pansexual. I'm sexually attracted to everybody. I have no limits. And then, of course, all these influential kids and teenagers and adults are gonna look up the word, and then they're gonna start identifying as pansexual. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'm pansexual too. And you know what pansexual means? It means you're attracted to everybody. That sexual orientation or gender doesn't matter. You basically can be attracted to anyone. And this is just another fuel of the fire of teaching immorality to children and teaching that homosexuality is great, it's the norm, it's the in thing, and it's healthy, and anything inside of heterosexuality or heteronormativity, the way that God really created us, is just weird at this point. It's just so yesterday, and we need to move past that. It's outdated. That's what they're trying to do. And of course, this is why the rate of those who identify as LGBT is now 20% among millennials, which it used to be only 5% just about 20 years ago. That's not a coincidence. And now look at the ways that the feminist movement is fanning the flames and creating the same kind of resentment and victimhood. Oops. Okay, so this is the feminist frequency, which is hilarious. There was a tweet yesterday. There was a tweet yesterday from the feminist frequency saying, "Guess what? We have a new series out called The Freak Show. This is the 2nd season of our series, The Freak Show. Everybody come and watch. This is going to be great." So I clicked on it, like, what is this? And this is what it is. This is this Natasha Sarkeesian, feminist galore, talking about season 2 trailer. Let's see what she has to say and see how great it is.
We're hosting a Smarty Party and everyone is invited. When you hear words like intersectionality, misogyny, or privilege, do you have the sneaking suspicion that you might not have a grasp of what they actually mean?
No.
We hear you. And that's why we're going to be spending this season walking through some of the fundamental forces that shape all of our lives every single day. And hey, guess what? I've suckered Ebony and Carolyn into joining me. Where can folks catch these episodes in which I am prominently featured?
Subscribe to us at youtube.com/feministfrequency so you don't miss a single episode.
What?
Cool. All right, we did it. Yeah. All right. All right.
Why is this anything that why would any woman want to spend her time watching this freak show? I don't know. Can you imagine that? Like, why is this entertaining for women? I guess this is the new form of entertainment. Let's just talk about all day long. Let's dissect sexism and forms of intersectionality and intersectional feminism. Let's just do that all day long in my free time. Who has the time for that, and who has the desire to watch that on their free time? Let's look at some more things and see how ridiculous this goes. Here is this girl again. This is season 1 of The Freak Show. Let's see what this episode is all about. This episode looks like it's about retro sexism and uber ironic advertising. Wow. What is this?
Combination of cynicism and humor with these over-the-top caricatures, and it always ends up being racist and or sexist. It's really the normalization of sexism through the use of irony. It's the they know that I know that they know that they're being sexist. Some terms people have used to describe this is ironic sexism or retrosexism. Retrosexism is modern attitudes and behaviors that mimic or glorify sexist aspects of the past, often in an ironic way.
Who makes up
Let's
these
see an
words?
example from Carl's Jr. I know it's over the top and ridiculous to see women marching in American flags to Liberty cheeseburgers and the American dream. And they know that they're over the top and ridiculous and objectifying women. But because we all know, it doesn't mean that it's not sexist. Take, for example, this new marketing campaign by Mike's Hard Lemonade, where they're attempting to rebrand their product as a more manly drink and a less girly drink.
Can you believe some guys have never tried Mike's Hard Lemonade because they've seen women drink it? We don't have those kinds of issues.
Thank you.
No, we don't. Mike's is a refreshing change of pace to beer, but you should enjoy it responsibly. For example, do you have a designated driver? I could take you home. Or I could take you both home. Lots of options.
See how he's not even pretending to fool us? Like we're all in on this big joke. Look how funny it is that he's incompetently and obviously trying to take advantage of these women.
Oh my
We're all
God.
supposed to know that this guy is acting like a scumbag and haha, isn't it funny? Really, they know that I know that they know that they're being sexist.
It's called a joke. It's called a joke. Where's your sense of humor? Where are these feminists' sense of humor? They have none.
Or what about the good old wandering-eyed, lying husband and naive wife tropes?
Do you have the extra pacifier?
Yeah. Look at
That
this.
they know. Women are supposed to laugh at how stupid this girlfriend is while being secure in the knowledge that they'll never make the same. Being trained to
look
be
at
just
one
as
more and then
raunchy
I'm done.
and objectify other women just like one of the guys. We're coerced into doing this instead of aligning ourselves with one another. One of the reasons might be to impress men, and I'm gonna guess that pointing out sexism isn't exactly popular with the guys. This next one not only manages to be sexist, but also racist at the same time. Is there a Clio award for that?
Oh my
When a
God.
guy can't get his wahine to put some hot...
This is so stupid. I'm literally losing my mind. Like, how humorless, how joyless do you have to be? It is called a joke. Have we forgotten what a joke means? Joke. A thing that someone says to cause amusement or laughter, especially a story with a funny punchline. That's called a joke. What do you guys think? Can you believe this? Like, this is what the kind of garbage that's the feminist rhetoric this did. This is the feminist movement. And I don't know how any girl, what woman would want to join that? I mean, and what woman wants to keep on pointing out to men when she's hanging out with men or her boyfriend, that commercial is sexist and here's why. This commercial is racist and here's why. I mean, who does that? And why would you want to do that? What has been the left's reaction to West? Funded by Soros. Oh yeah, it's all funded by Soros, for sure. They're not people to look up to, that's for damn sure. Yes. Yeah, this is getting, like, the fact that this is, but they're so intelligent, right? Soros obviously funds all of this. But it is very intelligent because, guess what? It works, right? Millions of women are on this feminist bandwagon, and they seem to not be able to get off. But it's so enslaving, I think. I mean, how is constantly spending your energy on pointing out sexism all day and even creating new definitions of sexism, like intersectional sexism and subversive sexism and retrosexism. These aren't even words, but spending your actual time thinking about that, you have nothing better to do with your time. You know, I mean, it's really scary what this world is coming to. Yes, true freak show for sure. Why you got these linebacker build bitches on here? Oh my God. The hating video game girl, I swear to God. Would somebody please send her out in outer space and let her just float to the sun? Yes. She was the one, Natasha Sarkeesian was the one who was hating on video games and saying video games were sexist, right? She's trying to bring down the whole video game industry, which is mainly guys. And, like, girl, stay in your lane. If you're going to join the video game crew, you know, which is mostly male dominated. Don't go in there and then say, oh, here's how I'm going to take it down and change the video game industry. I'm glad that she got doxxed for that. Anna Sarkeesian is the type of girl that if you gave her a pack of equal sugar, she would complain about it not being equal. That is funny. They know that I know that they know that someone else knows that somebody don't know nothing. I get a headache just listening to what passes for logic these days. Oh, I get a headache too. It's like, slit my wrists. Nobody wants to hear that crap. And now let's look into, I know we don't want to keep rehashing my point, but let's now look at the gay world. Why people are jumping off the gay bandwagon, the gay Democrat bandwagon now. Because look at this. Some people, let's look at a joke again. Here's what some people are saying. So we saw this, right? This was Kanye West. This was John Legend texting Kanye West. John Legend was texting Kanye West in typical Democrat form, trying to manipulate him, trying to use emotional pull on his heartstrings to try to get him to back out from his comments on Trump. And he says, as you know, what you say really matters to your fans. They are loyal to you and respect your opinion. So many people who love you feel so betrayed right now because they know the harm that Trump's policies cause, especially to people of color. Don't let this be part of your legacy. And thank gosh that Kanye had the backbone and the balls to stand up to that crap. He says, I love you, John, and appreciate you, but you using my fans or my legacy is a tactic based on fear used to manipulate my free thought, which is totally true. Thank you, Kanye, again, for saying that. Because this is what they do. They constantly manipulate and try to pull on your heartstrings as a way of manipulating. Who's the real manipulators right now? Their true colors really come out when they get challenged or when someone else steps out of their narrative. That's when their true colors come out. And guess what? Guess who else followed suit? Chance the Rapper said, black people don't have to be Democrats. Then here's some other people saying, gay people don't have to be Democrats either. And then someone else said, Jewish people don't have to be Democrats either. And it started this whole chain, this whole movement really this week, this revolution of people saying, women don't have to be Democrats either. Look at all these people saying, yeah, this is great. Some people, of course, try to spout back at him, not if they want to be discriminated against, prevented from serving in the military, and unable to marry. And this guy says, I'm married to a man, never been discriminated against for being gay, and we've been free to join the military openly for years. And the funny thing is this girl keeps on trying to pipe back at him. And everyone is saying, most of the people are saying, this is fantastic. Women don't have to be Democrats. The chains have been lifted. This is a revolution. It's an American rebellion. Latinos don't have to be Democrats either. Americans don't have to be Democrats. Like, this is just really great that people are finally breaking in, because gays have for so long also been part of the Democrats and feeling like they can't speak out and be part of the conservative movement. And not even, this isn't even about conservatives, Republicans, or liberals, or Democrats anymore, because I feel like the Republican Party has also gotten corrupt, although we do need to vote Republican in order to keep this train going. But I consider myself just on the Make America Great Again and a constitutionalist. That's the train that I'm on. And just look at gays. I'm asking you, do you really want to be part of this movement that encourages this? Is this something that is really healthy for our society and for our children?
Lindsay, I'm so excited to be back.
Me too, Teddy. We still have so much more we need to talk about with our friends. You ready, Teddy?
Ready.
Okay, today we are talking about gender expression.
More gender things? But I already know all about gender.
You know a lot about gender, Teddy, but there's always more to learn.
Gender is so complicated.
Well, it can definitely seem that way, but today we're talking about gender expression, which is a little bit different than what we've talked about before.
Ooh, gender expression.
Gender expression is how you express or present your gender.
Well, that's obvious, Lindsay. It's in the name. But what does it mean, really?
Okay, is this what we really, what gays want to align themselves with? Is this really healthy for children? Is this really healthy for our society to teach 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds this? Is this what gays want to represent? Because this is what gay Democrats are currently pushing. What about this? This is a boy who's a drag queen.
Come with me. Yep. Hello. So, I'm here to ask you a few questions. Now, you might not know what this means at first, but are you a lactator?
Not yet. Hopefully, someday.
A lactator.
Are you a lactator?
Of course I am.
What's a lactator? Are you a lactator?
Yes.
Are you a lactator?
No.
I am a lactator, honey.
How are your thoughts on lactation?
On lactation.
So are we really wanting to teach, 7-year-old boys to be drag queens and have a name Lactatia, which is a very sexualized name, obviously, and have him going around asking people if they lactate? I mean, is that really a healthy concept for kids to be learning? What about this? This is called Drag Queen Storytime. Drag queens are now, and this is something that the liberals are pushing, drag queens are going to schools, preschools, and public libraries and reading books to children. And they're promoting this. And somehow insane parents are letting their children go to this.
It's kind of a perfect relationship, and it's kind of like drag performers are clowns, right? Like they really they play things up. They're over the top. They're like a cartoon come to life.
It's like sadistic.
Welcome to Faye and Fluffy's story time. Reading is fundamental. I'm hoping what the kids get out of coming to story time is an opportunity to see that things that are different aren't scary. That things that are different are amazing.
You mean indoctrinating
what is
kids?
so incredible about the reading is that you get families from all sort of backgrounds and experiences and relationships and gender identities and everything, and to see that diversity in people is what needs to be celebrated, and the more that we're exposed to that, the more comfortable we become with each other.
You mean the more brainwashed you become with each other, right? That's what that means, because kids don't know anything, and they're going to be confused, and they're being set up for mental disorders. Sorry to put you through this torture, guys, but I really need a few more of these videos just to show you how bad things are that the liberals want to push. This is more drag queen story time.
I'm a girl.
This is confusing to kids. This is confusing. Lil Miss Hot Mess? Is that really a name that you want to be touting?
Hips on the drag queen go swish, 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 swish.
Drag Queen Story Hour is fantastic because it addresses all of these issues of gender fluidity and self-acceptance and all of these topics that are real, are very, very real.
Do you get it? Everyone thinks that this girl is a boy because she's a little bit of a tomboy.
So wrong. These kids don't know any better.
People are sinful or evil or, bad to begin with. So, we're sort of just starting from such different places that it's kind of irrelevant to me.
It's great. So much energy.
Did you like it? Yeah.
You know, that
Okay, no, I'm not going to send my kids to that. And guess who sponsors that, by the way? Michelle and Barack Obama. Yes. All right, one more of this nonsense. Look at this kid. Here's another one. His name is Desmond is Amazing, a 10-year-old drag kid. Do you really think this kid knows what he's doing and the consequences for the rest of his life? I don't think so. It's called child abuse.
holiday dinner table.
As long as you're not talking anything good about him.
Like, how does a kid, I'm sorry, but how does a kid who's 10
As long as you're not talking anything
even know
Donald
this?
Trump at the holiday. People should be talking about Donald Trump at the holiday dinner table.
As long as you're not talking anything good about him.
Hi guys, what's up? It's Evan Ross Katz. I'm senior style editor here at Mike.com. I'm joined by one of the youngest and most famous drag kids in the world. Desmond is amazing.
It is an honor to be back, and I'm very grateful.
Oh, such a beautiful
This kid
look
looks
before
like
my
he's
eyes today.
programmed.
Can you talk to me about the look?
This outfit is what I'm calling Ice Queen.
And what inspired it?
Winter. Happy holidays.
Why do you think it's
This kid should be playing at home.
important for parents to be supportive of LGBTQ children, kids, youth?
If somebody says that it's not okay to be LGBTQ, then just tell them to pay it no mind, because they will not be as jolly and holly as the person who is getting bullied by that person that said it's not good to be LGBTQ. My motto is be yourself always, so you should always be yourself.
Okay, this kid is obviously being fed talking points, right? He is not in his right mind, I think, and I'm pretty sure that this kid he doesn't even know what he's really doing. His parents are setting him up, and sadly they're setting him up to fail. And this is the liberal lunacy that's going on, you know, teaching 10-year-olds to be talking like this. How can you even at 10 years old know politics and know what our president is really doing and to really have a knowledgeable opinion about our president, for instance? This is how you know it's the parents that are feeding him all these talking points. And to me, that's really sick, that they're robbing him of a childhood. They're robbing these kids of childhoods and innocence and not allowing them to just be kids, and then being the role model, leading millions of other kids into this path of confusion and sin. And it's really, really scary. We need to stop this liberal lunacy. I'm going to go and peer into the chat rooms real quick because I haven't looked for a few minutes. Who are these kids' parents? Exactly, right? Where are the parents? That guy needs to be beat down and that kid needs a belt and to be set down straight. I know, right? Not only I think our parents are okay with it, I think that they're creating these little cash cows. They're wanting to be famous, or they're just sick and demented. And the people that are sending their children to these drag queen story hours are clearly demented and sick. These people are sick. Scary. Gay president and transgender first lady. That is true. Yes, the parents are enabling this. Parents are okay with this. Yes. Yes. All they want to do is sexualize their children and adultize their children. It's really scary. It is very disappointing. But that's our future. That's going to be our future, guys. It's going to be our future. But this is why I say, you know, gays, it's okay to not be a Democrat. It's okay to not be a liberal and to align yourself, because there's gay conservatives out there. And there are gay conservatives who believe in making America great again, and who believe in the policies of making America great again, and still believe in positive traditional families. They still believe in God. They still believe in the elements that make our country great instead of destruction. They don't go around to these pride parades and just flaunt their flamboyancy in people's faces. They don't do this sexualization of children or participate in that, the drag shows and everything. They just quietly live their lives in peace. And there's plenty of gays that are on the conservative bandwagon or the MAGA bandwagon, and you don't have to align yourself with that garbage. So I invite all gays to free yourself and try on the American patriot mindset for just 1 month. And women, free yourself from the shackles of this insane feminist movement and try on the Make America Great Again mindset for just 1 month. Try to free yourself from this hatred and divisiveness and envy, competitiveness, and retaliation that feminists are constantly brewing up. Here's another thing, and then we'll move on. But this is something else I came across. This Bitch magazine. Yes, this is the Jezebel spirit that they're invoking in women and role modeling in women. But there's this Jezebel spirit. Bitch magazine is another big magazine for feminists, and it's all of this kind of snotty, snarly things that, you know, try to kind of this snotty attitude that pushes in women. Look at this. And guess what? Their biggest issue is the revenge issue. Bitch magazine, the revenge issue, right? It's constantly fanning these flames and encouraging women to seek revenge. Revenge, a state of pursuit, begins with a wrong or wrongs, as in the patriarchy, bullies, heteronormativity, so that's now considered a wrong. Gender binaries, now considered wrong. Complicity, good intentions, erasure, and the tired bemoaning of ethnocentricities with limited imaginations of freedoms. So this is, you know, this is what they're trying to invoke, is seek revenge. These are all things that are wrong. And brainwashed women, they're so gullible, will just jump on this and be like, yes, let me get revenge. And then look at this is something that you can download from the Bitch Mart, the Resistance Guide. This is a guide to community organizing, basically. So let's look at what this community organizing is. Look at this packet. This is what is being spoon-fed to girls. Bust. And look at, she looks like a terrorist. The Feminist Guide to Resistance. And it's all about how to community organize. It's all rules for radicals. BLM, protect what you love. Experts on protest and resistance give their best advice for women who want to flex some political muscle over the next 4 years and beyond. And this is really scary stuff. It's just turning girls into radicals. A community organizing how-to. Oh, they're not even shy about it. This is Marxism 101. Talk about abortion, how it's so, you know, such this fundamental, we got her as a role model. Maxine Waters, Mad Maxine, she's highlighted as one of the role models, as one of the heroes, of course. Look at these angry looking women. Don't get mad, get elected. And look at, here's the spin right here, as usual. It's no secret that the government is full of old, white men. The time is now for us to get in there and change that. Can you believe that? I mean, who's the racist ones here? Who's the delusional ones? Old, white men. It's crazy. They keep on continuing this narrative of everyone in government is old, white men. It's really insane. And here we go. Here's another radical Sharia law advocate. Linda Sarsour is being highlighted in here. And remember, this is a resistance guide that's being handed out and downloaded by millions of women in America. This is scary stuff. desperately seeking social justice. This is why women are so crazy these days. Bell hooks. I feel like we've had a false idea of the progress women have made, and this is a reminder that there's so much work to do. Yeah, there's never enough for these women. That's why, women, I invite you, I encourage you to get off this bandwagon. Protect your freedom. Protect your future. Because it says right here, even when there's not misogyny, there's so much benevolent sexism. In the response to the whole grab her by the pussy thing, one comment, men express their outrage. So, to me, that's as problem as the sexual objectification that they're denouncing. So this is saying that no matter what, there's still always going to be work to do, and there's always going to be progress to be made. What advice do you have for feminists who want to smash the patriarchy? So basically they're saying it's just never going to be enough. There's no pleasing them. So if there's no pleasing them, what's the point of even getting in there? You're going to be fighting till your grave, ladies. You're going to spend your whole lives fighting for this imaginary, elusive goal of smashing the patriarchy and getting rid of sexism, which is basically stamping out men's natural instincts. So do you really want to spend your life fighting and in this negative state? Now, I don't know about you guys, with all of this being said, but this is a proven fact that when you spend your life or spend your time in victimhood and resentment and blame, it takes a physical toll on your body and your lifespan. And also, there's no way that you can be successful as an individual or a positive contribution to society if you are in those negative emotions of blame and victimhood. And if you go to anyone, any life coach, any relationship coach, personal development coach like Tony Robbins or myself, anyone who's worth their salt will tell you that if you are blaming other people for your circumstances, you can never be successful. And this is why if we look at like Black Lives Matter or the Black community or feminists, and if you were to just look at this objectively and say, what if you were to go to a life coach or Tony Robbins or me, and you were wanting to be successful? The first thing, you think that if you said the reason for my success or my failures is because of white people or because of the patriarchy, you think that that coach would let you get away with that? You don't think that they would say, actually, no, what happened in the past, but we need to move on from that. We need to heal that so that you can actually move forward. You have to take 100% responsibility for your life and for your outcomes. And if you blame other people, you're not going to be able to move forward. So we need to get out of that state of blame and resentment as soon as possible. Has anyone ever done landmark education? I've done a lot of landmark education. I've done a lot of personal development programs. And myself, I'm a practicing certified neuro-linguistic programming NLP practitioner and a certified hypnotherapist, as well as life coach. So I can tell you, I can promise you that you're going to pay money for a life coach. The first thing they're going to do is get you to have the mindset of taking full responsibility for your life. If they don't do that, if they allow you to continue to blame other people or circumstances for your success or failure, drop them like a bad habit. Fire them. They are a bad coach. They should not be coaching, because that's one of the fundamental underlying core issues, core mindsets of being successful in life, is taking personal responsibility for your own achievement. And therapists, this is why a lot of therapists don't work, is because they coddle you. They just listen to you, and they're more like an echo chamber. They allow you to stay in victimhood a lot of times, and they don't give you tools to move past that and free yourself. So if we're just looking at this objectively, if one person went to a life coach and said that, they would be in the wrong, right? The advice would be, you need to free yourself from that blame. So why is it any different then that a whole population of people are doing this exact thing? They're staying in blame and victimhood, and we're allowing that, we're tolerating that. Why are they tolerating it for themselves, and why aren't they being called out on it? Finally, Kanye West is calling people out on it, and finally he's saying, like, this is wrong. You can't get anywhere with victimhood. You can't get anywhere by feeling sorry for yourself or blaming other people, finally. But it's amazing how other people can't just look objectively and see that doesn't work. That system does not work. So let's try on something else for a change. Let's try on something different. And we can see too, by the way, the liberals have made more of a big deal and they've gotten more crazy and hysterical over Kanye West's comments than finding out that Allison Mack was a child sex trafficker, that she was involved in the highest orders of sex trafficking and was enslaving and torturing women. Allison Mack from Smallville, that everyone adored and loved. When this news broke out this past week, I didn't hear a peep about that. Have you? Have you heard many liberals or Democrats crying or getting hysterical or getting crazy about her? No. They got crazy and hysterical with Kanye West comments about how it's great to be a free thinker and think for yourselves and not be enslaved by ideological thought. The fact that he said that people should not be put in, groups should not be a monolith. You know, we should avoid monolithic thinking. That was more outrageous to liberals. That should tell you a lot. That should tell you a lot about their true character. And their true character always comes out. This breaks my heart. Exactly. It's ugly. Her feelings were more gullible and that they would be the ally to get Edmund Russ. That's why he went for the woman first. That's why I don't like therapy. I heard Tony Robbins caved in big time and apologized for what he said. Yes, he did apologize, and I don't like that he apologized. He shouldn't have apologized because there was nothing that he should have apologized for. Let's look at how non-racist Trump is. That's Trump. Yeah, let's look at how non-racist Trump is. Trump has done a lot for the black community, and definitely more than anyone else has, any other president has. He's done a lot for the black community. Here's another black girl saying, make our president black again. And someone said, yeah, the Democrats' colors are true showing. Somehow a black president will fix everything? What kind of racial nonsense is that? Exactly. It doesn't make, they have no logic. They think that somehow a black president is going to fix our country. Do they not see that Obama made our country worse? Do they not see with facts that Obama made our country worse? And they made he did nothing to fix the inner cities, nothing to fix cities like Chicago. He made he fanned the flames of racial division so much more. How can they even think it's a question? Just because he looks like them? He was a Muslim too, by the way. Just because he looks like them, they want a president who looks like them. That somehow matters more than what he's actually doing for the country. How is that intelligent at all? How is that logical or rational at all? So I have a challenge for everybody, okay? I have a challenge for people who are, whatever you are, Trump supporter, conservative, liberal, or Democrat, but I have a challenge for those. In the spirit of Kanye West, in the spirit of Kanye West and Chance and Candace Owen and what people are doing this week, I want people to know just how different the mindset of someone who's on the Making Love and a Making America Great Again train is than someone who's on the liberal Democrat train. All right? So the challenge is to live like a Trump supporter for just 1 month. Yes, for just 1 month, what would it be like if you lived like a Trump supporter? And here's some actions for you. If you don't know, well, what is it like to live like a Trump supporter? Here's how Trump supporters live, and why don't you do the same? Everybody can. Someone who, and again, I didn't used to always be on the Trump train, okay? I just realized that when I was watching, you know, when I was watching speeches and debates, I would watch Hillary's speech, excuse me, I would watch Hillary's speech, then I would watch Trump's speech. And with Hillary's speeches, I would feel so weighed down. I would feel heavy. I would feel gross because of all the divisiveness in her language and all the identity politics and the victimhood and the apologizing for America. America's bad. And Obama would always talk about America being bad, and he would apologize for America. He kept fanning the flames of resentment, you know, and he just always were race baiting. And I would feel just heavy. And it's been such a long time since I actually felt like excited about America and prideful in it. So when I would watch Trump's speeches, I would get excited again. I would just check on how he felt, and I felt excited. I felt prideful again. Like, wow, this is something I could get on. And then he started talking about things like, you know, just for once putting America first. We haven't put America first for a while. Look at all the problems that we've created. Look at all the people that we're taking in that are unvetted and then end up, you know, committing violent crimes, a lot of them. What about if we just put America first and solved our own problems first before we took on new problems? Because our country has some problems. It's just like our home, our family. If we have a home and a family and we're already having problems, we can't even afford to feed our own family members, then maybe it's not a smart idea to adopt 5 more children into our family, especially children that are from violent countries. Maybe that's not such a smart idea. So I really got on board with that. That made perfect sense to me. And the more he talked, the more sense I was making from it, you know, and I'm a free thinker. I never like to be told what to think. I never like to be told who to like or who to hate. So the more that they pushed and said, don't like Trump, hate him, the more I'm like, well, I need to actually understand his policies and like him for myself or not like him. And then I started looking into Hillary Clinton and started seeing that she's actually quite a criminal, has committed so many different crimes, and so has Bill Clinton. And I hate their race baiting. I hate the division they're creating. I hate the disunity that they're creating. The more I got on the Trump train, and I understood, I want to make America great again. It was great at one point. It was thriving. It was booming. We had great relationships. We had great families. And I am disgusted with the way that the country is going. I'm disgusted with the way our relationships are going. So if he is for making America great again, and I can see actually his policies, how he's going to do that, then of course I'm excited for that, you know, and who wouldn't? And then I went to a Trump rally, and I was so invigorated and inspired by all the American flags waving, the pride in the country. People can actually wave their flags in freedom, you know, and people were excited. They were looking forward. They were wanting a better America. There was blacks, whites, Asians, Mexicans, people of every race and credence. But we were all patriotic. We were all having pride in the country, and we were excited for a potential new president that felt the same. It was so different, such a different vibe than all the hate, the race baiting, and the victimhood and negativity that you need to do better, people. White people are bad. That was coming from the Hillary rallies and the Hillary conventions and the Hillary people that I was going around. So that's why I started getting really behind the Make America Great Again movement. And most people feel the same way. So if people are wondering why we would possibly be on this, and no, people that are on the Make America Great Again movement, we're not Russian bots. We're not paid for. We are real human beings, real Americans that want to make our country great again. Here's what you can do to live like a Trump supporter and have the mindset of a Trump supporter for just 1 month. Number 1, be proud of our country. Just take pride in it for 1 month. What would it feel like if you can wave the American flag and instead of apologizing for the country or being anti-American, taking pride in this country that people once thought was considered to be exceptional. A country that millions of people from different countries want to immigrate to so badly every day. Number 2, take your blinders off. Stop watching CNN, MSNBC, the Washington Post, New York Times, and all the other leftist-run media that run stories every day that spoon-feed you negative propaganda, stories of hate and resistance and envy. They spoon-feed you and tell you what to think, how to feel, who to like and who to hate. What would it feel like if you just shut all that negative news off for 1 month, and instead of listening to what they say about the president, which is mostly false, you actually looked at the president's actions. You looked at his accomplishments. Just track his accomplishments and what he says he cares about for just 1 month. See how you feel when you turn off that negative news. Number 3, after you unplug from the negative news, I want you to pay attention to all the race baiting that goes on, all the stories of race baiting. Look at it objectively. And notice how the stories are really designed to stir up resentment, around the Americans and groups of people in America, and to stir up fear and victimhood and keep us in a weak state of mind, in a state of mind that has us not liking each other, hating each other, and not being unified as a country. Notice all the stories if you're actually paying attention to it. For just 30 days, I want you to pay attention and just focus on judging people by the content of their character and not by the color of their skin, not by whatever group they belong to. Notice how it feels like to actually live Martin Luther King's dream of judging people by the content of their character and not by the color of their skin, which is what leftists constantly promote. And judge people based on merit. Don't give people a pass based on a certain group, whatever group they belong to, whatever skin color they belong to. Don't give them a pass, but also be sure to respect people or be kind people. Don't withhold kindness or respect to people either for being a part of a certain group. Maybe because they're white or something, they don't deserve your respect. But just hold everyone to the same standard of moral character. If you held everyone to the same standard of moral character, just see how that feels for 1 month. Speaking of identity politics, for a whole month, why don't you stop focusing on those things that divide us and start focusing on the things that unite us? Stop focusing on the things that divide us, like social justice warriors and intersectional feminists tell us to focus on, the hundreds of different factions that they tell us to focus on, and instead focus on the fact that we are all Americans. We are all part of the same American family. What would that feel like if we actually all had that same unity and we stopped with the identity politics and we all saluted the same American flag and stood for the same national anthem? Number 6, I want you to focus on having compassion and concern for Americans first. For just a month, what would that feel like? While you're walking down the street, have empathy for the homeless people. There's millions of homeless people on the street every day. While you're walking down the street, have empathy for that homeless person who's sticking out their hand for $1. Look into his eyes and feel his pain. Look into his eyes. He is jobless and he is destitute. And the million of other homeless people that are jobless and destitute and cold every night. And think about how our country can help solve this problem or even make a dent in it before we bring in a million other immigrants. And we haven't even fixed this own problem of the homelessness, the homeless Americans that are on the street every night wondering if they're even going to live another day or not. Just look at what it feels like to focus on Americans first. I want you to pay special attention to homeless veterans and veterans as a whole. In fact, I urge you to volunteer at an event for wounded warriors or a veterans hospital. Talk to them, hear their stories, and do not stop talking to them until you really get the immense sacrifice that these veterans have made for you and for this country. Do not leave until you feel their pain. Even though they will not complain of the physical and the emotional sacrifices they made, their extreme bravery in defending our country, protecting our freedoms and borders from enemies so that we can live safely in our country. Never mind that they get treated like dirt at the bottom of your Prada shoes when they return. Never mind that 22 of them commit suicide every day because they're neglected. They don't have the proper health care or support when they come back. For just 30 days, why don't you have compassion on them? And think about what we can do as a country to help them and solve this problem, or even make a dent in it, before we take on new problems of letting millions of unvetted, undocumented immigrants and refugees in from violent countries and desecrate the country that they gave their lives to defend. For just 1 month, what if you thought about and simply following the laws of the Constitution and of this country? What would happen if you simply held everybody accountable to the respect of this country? And whether they are a legal citizen or not, whether they are black, brown, Asian, documented immigrant or not documented immigrant, what if we simply enforced our laws and allowed our president and the law enforcement to do their job? Rather than harboring immigrants who are here illegally or allowing them to stay here after they've committed crimes, what if we had more concern for our citizens who are trying to just live their lives in peace and not have to worry about violence and crime in their own neighborhoods? What if for just 30 days, what if we protected our children and allowed our children to just be innocent children without inundating them with the very adult concepts of gender and sexuality and teaching them gender pronouns when they're only 5 years old and they should just be playing with Legos or learning the alphabet? What if for 30 days we just spent real quality time with our children and taught them the concept of the importance of family and family dinners? And what if we taught them to embrace the body and the sex that they were given, rather than encouraging them to gender bend or try on a different gender or experiment with cross-dressing? What if we did that just for 30 days? What if for 30 days we focused on appreciating the opposite sex and the beautiful differences that we have? What if for 30 days we acknowledge that beautiful, synergistic, and complementary relationship between men and women instead of pretending that we don't have differences or thinking of us as enemies on the opposite side, someone that we need to fight? What if we spent a month appreciating men and their great contributions to society and to women and how much we need masculinity in the world instead of bashing them or telling them that they need to do better and vilifying them? What if for 30 days we focused on the future instead of the past? We focused on having a victor mentality instead of a victim mentality. And we taught people the values of personal responsibility, pulling themselves up for their bootstraps and creating their own success in life, and that they can have success and live the American dream if they want to. All they have to do is work hard, be resilient, and have persistence, and they can have that American dream. Take personal responsibility for themselves. What if we all taught the concept of having that American dream once again? Do you think that people might work a little bit harder, stop blaming other people for their circumstances, and actually be more successful in life? And we can all share in a more successful economy, a more successful country and communities, instead of having this beaten down victimhood economy and victimhood American. What if that happened? What if for 1 month we looked at facts instead of feelings? What if for just 1 month we looked at and told the truth instead of lies? And rather than needing trigger warnings or safe spaces to run to because we think that what someone is saying is somehow hurting our feelings, what if we simply take it in and look at those facts? Hear what that person is trying to tell us and see if there's any truth to it. For 1 month, I invite you to just simply look at the facts over feelings. What if for 1 month we only let people in our country that truly love our country, that want to be here, and that take pride in our country? People that we can trust safely to be in our children's schools or to live alongside in our neighborhoods. Not people who have completely different values or moral compasses than us, people who are part of violent gangs or think nothing of honor killings or raping their children or marrying 7-year-olds. What if we just took people in who really wanted to be here and who wanted to assimilate into our country and take pride in it and wanted to be a positive contribution to our country? We keep going here. Almost done. What if for 30 days we stopped obsessing about salacious details about whether or not President Trump had sex consensually with a porn star 12 years ago or not, and we all as Americans banded together to focus on the real problems that are affecting America's every day, real problems that we could work for and get behind, like the amazing abundance of child trafficking and sex trafficking, or the opioid crisis, right? Or the rebuilding of our inner cities, the lowering of crime, reducing the state of divorce, improving marital relations, improving the state of the family. What if we work together on these issues? These are all things that we should all be able to get behind. Shouldn't matter what side of the political fence you're on. But these are things that Trump is trying to do that we can all get behind. What if for 30 days, instead of hating each other and dividing up each other, what if we just focused on loving each other instead? What if we focused on love instead of hate? What if we focused on unity instead of division, instead of hatred? And what if we focused on patriotism instead of anti-Americanism? What would that feel like if we focused on God and the family and our relationships instead of worshiping false idols and celebrities? What if we focused on our personal success instead of petty, meaningless things like what bathroom that we should go to, or what historical statue we should rip down, or what new thing that the news tells us this day that we should be outraged or offended over? What if we all did that together and just focused on our country and our relationships with each other? Remember, at the end of the day, patriots have no skin color. Patriots have no skin color. When are liberals going to get it? We don't care about black, white, Mexican, transgender even. We don't care. We care about patriots. We care about love and pride for our country and love of each other. And we want to ultimately make America great again. So if you're up for the challenge, I invite you to take 30 days and just practice living in the mindset of someone who supports the Make America Great Again agenda. And I can almost guarantee you when you do that, you're going to have more love in your heart. You're going to have a greater sense of peace every day. You're going to have more pride in this country, which feels good to have pride in the country that you live in. You're going to have more pride in the president, and you're going to see just how negative and divisive and hateful the Democrat Party is. You're going to see it with a fresh set of eyes, and you're going to see that your life is better without that mindset, that you don't want to be a part of that. That is BS, and it's dragging you down, it's dragging your life down, and it's dragging the country down. This is your challenge. Who's ready to take this on? Now, I know I'm preaching to the choir to a lot of people because you already do this. Thank you for all the love, by the way. Now I'm back in the chat rooms. We love you. Stay. Who here's from San Diego? Who here's from LA? In Switzerland, gotta stay neutral. Well, hey, even if you're not even in America, you guys can take on this mindset, right? There's nothing wrong. There's everything great with having pride in our country. Thank you for all the loves, guys. Thank you for all the loves. Mwah. This is my love back to you. Oregon here. Yay. So what do you think of my challenge? Should I post this on my social media and we can spread it around to all the liberals and all the Democrats and have them take on this challenge? Let's make this challenge go viral. It's a 30-day challenge. Yes, we love our country. Mwah. Thank you for the loves. Now, who's ready? Who's ready to take on this challenge and spread this around to people? Because guess what? If they see this challenge and they see this is what we really think, we're not racist, we're not homophobic, we're not bigots, we're not crazy people, we're not stuck in the past, we're actually in the future. It's the Democrats that are wanting to take us to the past, right? I love you too. Mwah, mwah. I love all you periscopers. Post the challenge, but expect hate because that's what haters do. Some will listen. Well, maybe I can get it over to Kanye West and he can blow up the challenge for me. I think I am. I'm going to post the challenge. I'll put it in a little infograph, okay? I'll put in an infograph and see if anyone wants to. Let's all make it go viral. So expect the infograph by the end of the day. I'm glad you guys like this show. We don't thrive on hatred like lefties, that's for sure. Exactly, but the crazy thing is they think that we are the hateful people. But finally, the truth is coming out because Kanye West ripped a hole in the Matrix over the week. He did. Everyone just expects him to toe the line because he's black. But guess what? He ripped a hole in the Matrix and said, no. Guess what? Guess who the real haters are? The real haters are on the left. And finally, this lie is starting to become disassembled. It's starting to become shattered, and I love it. All right, guys, I love you. I know I took a lot of your time today, an hour and 20 minutes. Whoa, that was more than I wanted to go. I'm going to have to start these things sooner. Kanye going to make a song about me. I hope so. We don't thrive on hatred like lefties, that's for sure. Exactly. All right, guys, who's with me? Yes, the left is falling apart. Excuse me. Okay, guys, I'm falling apart now. I'm still a little sick. So, I will see you on Monday, bright and early at 9:30 a.m. Let's spread the word all weekend. Let's try to RT this challenge when I post it. Make sure you add me on Twitter if you don't have me already at DeAnna Lorraine 7. That's at DeAnna Lorraine 7. And I will talk to you soon. Wrapping myself in the flag proves my hypocrisy. No, I think a lot of people wear American flag gear and scarves and everything, and I don't think that that's desecrating the flag at all. It's taking pride in it. Big Stopper, why don't you get out of my webcast then if you're going to project so much hate? Because everyone else here is loving this. Everyone else is patriotic. So, Big Stopper, why don't you get out? All right, guys, I love you, and I'll see you Monday bright and early at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, and that's 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. Let me just end with our prayer, and then we can wrap up. Excuse me. I'm starting to fall apart. Okay. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Dear Lord, I pray that more women and men see the light and can open their eyes to heart. Let me start over. I pray that more women and men can see the light and open their hearts to love instead of hate, can open their hearts to unity rather than divisiveness, can open their minds to truth rather than lies. I pray for love and protection of President Trump and his family and all those working for us, that they remain safe and resilient in the face of so many forces working against them. I pray for all of you and the truth warriors of the world who are courageously speaking the truth and boldly working to bring those who are in the darkness over to the light. Excuse me. Put on the full armor of God so that you'll be able to stand firm against the schemes of the devil. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the powers, against the world forces of this darkness, and the spiritual forces of wickedness in high places. I pray that all of you find true and lasting love, and that God puts an incredible partner in your life to be with you during this journey and bring you the beautiful family, the love, and the blessings you deserve. And lastly, we know that good conquers evil, that love conquers hate, and that together and with God's help and grace, we are able to make our country and our world great again. All right. I've got to go. I'm falling apart here. But we'll see you next time on Monday.